Welcome back to the Main Event Podcast. It's been a long 3 weeks that you've been without us. I know.
A minute.
It's okay. We're back on your screens, ready to talk some wrestling. And have a little cry about some things is what's going to happen today, I think. I'm Jez. That's Dan.
It's Guy.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Had a little holiday and yeah, all good.
What's the T-shirt that you've got there? I could only see parts of it. It's the Cody Rhodes winning the championship. Yeah, I like that they tried to do that. It's a riff on the NFL and other American sports championship T-shirts. I like the idea that they print a championship T-shirt for everyone just in case, and that there's a bunch of T-shirts that have just gone to waste. That's a bigger deal in the NFL and things, obviously, where they would print a T-shirt for the entire team and all of their entourage. It's like, there's just a box of 200 T-shirts that says, like, Green Bay Packers champions and they didn't win, so screw them. That just gets incinerated. You can't do much with it. I would love to grab one of those like losers T-shirts and just wear it around and see what people say. And like, what? They didn't win the championship. What are you talking about? Like, it says it on the T-shirt, mate. Like, who am I going to believe, you or my T-shirt? I think I'm going to believe my T-shirt. Yeah. So I'll get a WrestleMania 2024 Roman Reigns champion T-shirt and be like, what do you mean? Roman Reigns retained the championship at WrestleMania? Stories? Finishing stories? Shut up. Didn't happen.
Well, you could print one yourself.
I could indeed. Yeah. I have the means.
There you go.
If not the time and the actual means, because I've started packing for the house move. So lots of things are being put in boxes, and that includes the stuff to make T-shirts, which is a shame because I want to make a Christmas T-shirt. I might, unpack before I move, make my Christmas T-shirts, and then put it back in the box again. I'm not going to move this weekend. I'll do it this weekend. There you go.
Exactly. There you go.
Why the hell not? Yes, a lot to discuss on this episode of the Main Event Podcast, which is sponsored, as always, by Goat Energy Drinks. Get yourself a case of their all-natural energy drink in original mango, the new mango, cherry, or the caffeine-free watermelon that Dan is so helpfully sporting there. All this available at goatdrinks.co.uk, and using the code JEZ10, which appears in the bottom right-hand corner of our stream right now, you can get 10% off and free shipping. You finally bought yourself some watermelon then?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. I know it was out of stock for a while, but then it took you long enough when it was back in stock to actually put the order in. So
I know.
I'm glad you did that. I don't have any Goat energy drinks on me today because I want to sleep almost immediately after this stream. So I can't really be doing energy drinks.
You could have got the caffeine-free one.
Yeah, it's still an energy drink, and it's surprisingly effective. It's Goat energy drink. So I'm like, no, I want an un-energy drink tonight. That's what I'm going for. So, maybe there will be a topic in this show that will put us to sleep. We'll have to wait and see.
Maybe.
Before we crack into our topics, I just want to note that, and some of you may have noticed out there in the world, that we have ditched our Twitter. Because it's nonsense, frankly, and it's just people arguing, fans of Donald Trump and weird NFT-related nonsense, and can't be bothered with it anymore. But we have set up a Blue Sky account, and Blue Sky is lovely because it lets you use your own websites as the handles. So you can come and find us on Blue Sky at the URL for our website, which is is it at Main Event Podcast or at the Main Event Podcast? I should probably have checked this before I got started, really, shouldn't I?
What you got written here is at Main Event Podcast.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it took too long.
Is it at the Main Event Podcast? Come on, man.
Well, if I go to at Main Event Podcast, it goes to some weird Russian site, so it's not that. At themaineventpodcast.com. There you go. That's the one that does it. At the Main Event Podcast. Should have known, really. It's up there. There's a "the" in front of the
There you
logo.
go. I've added it.
Yeah. Well done. Yeah. There aren't many followers there because I only set it up on Saturday, and I'm only now telling people. So go forth, follow.
Go forth into the world and
more wrestling content. For
follow it and tell people.
Your skyballs or whatever they call them. I don't know. I don't even know what I call the posts on there. Is it tweets? Is it skeets? Is it posts?
It's
ramblings, utterings.
Something.
It is something, yeah. But I'm enjoying it on there, and I'm on Threads personally as well, just to hedge my bets on which one is going to be the better social media. But haven't set up a main event podcast one yet. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Right, let's get going with today's topics. A lot to talk about. We will get to predictions and championships and such later on. That will come naturally as our topics develop.
Yeah.
But I mentioned that there would be tears in this episode. And just looking at this picture here now, I'm like,
blonde guy, SANADA.
Yeah. SANADA has gone back to the blonde because at the event a few weeks ago, SANADA betrayed Just Five Guys, specifically Taichi, and has joined Bullet Club War Dogs. And there he is with his white hair. That's a bit more yellow than it actually looks. I think there was some lights on when that photo was taken that have tinted it a little bit yellow. But yeah, he's gone back to the white hair. Yeah, and it suits the War Dogs look a bit more than it suited the LIJ look they used to have. I'm wondering if he's going to grow back that giant beard and go full Santa Claus again like he used to be in LIJ. Yeah. You should dye yours white if SANADA dyes his white and grows it. I think you should commit to that. That sounds good to me.
All right, bet.
Cool. Excellent. Yes. So Just Five Guys is now Just Four Guys again for the third time in their history.
Oh, great.
How do you feel about SANADA joining Bullet Club War Dogs? Do you think it's a good move? Do you think it works?
I think it's an interesting move. Definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Has he been in Bullet Club before?
No. The only stables he's been part of, he was with LIJ for ages and really didn't do very much in LIJ and was just a hanger-on, kind of an enforcer for Naito and co. And then he left LIJ and formed Just Five Guys with, Just Four Guys with the other three guys, and now he's in Bullet Club War Dogs. But the thing that I don't quite understand about this whole situation is SANADA was the leader of Just Five Guys. I know they don't really have a leader, and in the same way of the Judgment Day and all that kind of stuff, but let's be honest, SANADA was the leader of Just Five Guys. So he's left a group that he was the leader of to be the underling of David Finlay, who's been around for half the time of SANADA.
He's been around for a minute.
That's the only part I'm struggling to make sense of, really. Considering, David Finlay has never won the World Championship. No. SANADA has won the World Championship.
Yeah.
So how is he happy playing second fiddle to David Finlay? I don't quite understand that. There's part of me that wonders if this is one big ruse and eventually he'll turn on David Finlay, but
break the War Dogs down from the inside.
Possibly. Or take over War Dogs. I would be down for SANADA taking over, Bullet Club as
taking
it
over Bullet Club. That'd be awesome. I reckon that could be the thing, actually, because that'd be awesome. SANADA is the Bullet Club leader.
That would be awesome. Yeah. I'd be quite happy with that. But yeah, it was certainly unexpected. I did not predict that SANADA was going to betray and join Bullet Club. So kudos to New Japan for being unpredictable.
Yeah.
I did not have that on my bingo card, that's for sure.
No.
But he doesn't look as sexy boy with the blonde hair, it has to be said. He's a much better brunette, is SANADA.
Is your man crush slightly going?
It has waned a little bit. Yeah, my man crush is certainly subsiding a little bit, but Yeah, it's probably a good thing. It was slightly unhealthy, if we're being honest. Moving on to a group of topics. Let's get into AEW Full Gear, which took place this past Saturday night from New Jersey, probably.
Somewhere.
Sounds about right.
Somewhere in America.
In America. We're not going to go through every match on the card because, quite frankly, some of them were rubbish. Yes. But there were some key matches, key events and things that we will discuss, and anything that pops into our minds that we remember from the event as we go. So, first on my list, Jay White versus Hangman Adam Page. Jay White coming out on the winning side of that. Interestingly, as we are kind of segueing from a Bullet Club topic, Jay White has been a babyface along with all of Bullet Club Gold since Jay White's return from the random injury that he got. Yeah. Do you buy Jay White as a babyface? I can't remember him as a babyface myself, personally.
No, I'm not sold on him as a babyface. I don't think he suits a babyface at all. I think he should just be a heel because he's a much better heel.
He is a very good heel, that's certainly for sure. The bit that kind of gives me pause about it is it's not just him that's turned babyface. He's brought the Guns along with him as babyfaces, and I certainly do not buy the Guns as babyfaces at all. Like, those guys need to be heel their entire career because that's their shtick, and they're really good at it. They're good at being that annoying, grating heel. Nepo babies, basically. But yeah, I'm not fully convinced by this Jay White babyface turn yet. But that kind of segues into the next question. Should he have beaten Hangman Adam Page, and how far can he go in this current run as a babyface?
I don't really know where he can go.
Is he going to be the guy who goes up against the Death Riders? Is it going to be Bullet Club Gold versus the Death Riders that leads to, Jay White winning the AEW Championship?
When do they usually have Blood and Guts?
That's usually a early summer kind of deal, like June, July. Yeah. There's quite some time until then.
Because that would make sense with the Death Riders versus Bang Bang Gang, as they call themselves, or Bullet Club Gold, whatever they call themselves.
Yeah, I think they've dropped the Bullet Club Gold moniker, but I refuse to let it go. They will always be Bullet Club Gold, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, Bang Bang Gang is a bit stupid.
I don't mind the Bang Bang Gang name,
I do.
But it's a bit of a tongue twister, and Bullet Club for life, etc. So there is that. Yeah, I definitely think he should have beaten Hangman Adam Page. I like the story that Hangman Adam Page just can't get a win really over this guy. He's only had one out of all of their meetings in the past. And we've talked on this show before about how I really like that some guys just have another guy's number and there's not really anything they can do about it. You could be the absolute best in the world and beat absolutely everybody, but there's that one guy that you can't beat, and it's going to grate you forever. Yeah. And I like that is Jay White for Hangman Adam Page. Although Hangman Adam Page has got a few of those guys, really. Maybe he just can't beat people. Yeah. Is what it comes down to. But yeah, it was a decent match. I was very happy to see Jay White really back in full swing after his injury. I'm digging Hangman Adam Page at the moment, as much as he can be a bit of an irritant. I'm quite liking, especially his new entrance music. I've played that in the car several times. Just, I feel like I am playing Red Dead Redemption as I drive through the streets. People don't really know what I'm doing, but it looks like I'm driving a lowrider while I'm going to get a cigar.
And what car do you actually drive?
A Honda.
What type of Honda?
A Honda HR-V.
Yeah, no.
Is that not Wild West enough for you, Dan?
No, it's not.
Well, I don't know what to say to you. I feel like my car is pretty damn Wild West.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's going to
I'll
go
get you
to
a Stetson if you want.
a Stetson. Okay, I'd wear a Stetson. Yeah. Some chaps. Some crotchless chaps.
I can get you them as well.
With no underwear. Why not?
Yeah, that's your department.
Watch Tamsin, welcome in. You've come at the perfect time, obviously. You can tell
Talking
everyone
about crotchless chaps.
How Wild West gangster my family saloon car is. Next up on our Full Gear discussion, another bit of a shocking victory and a shocking more heel turn that came a few weeks ago. Kyle Fletcher defeats Will Ospreay. We both predicted that Will Ospreay would win, so obviously we got that wrong. But we got that wrong together, damn it.
Together.
Consistent wrongness.
Together.
Has this been booked well? Is it good booking in general that Kyle Fletcher goes over Will Ospreay? And are you enjoying Kyle Fletcher as an uber heel?
I like the story of this whole Kyle Fletcher Will Ospreay thing. Enjoying Kyle Fletcher. I don't know if I'm enjoying Kyle Fletcher.
No.
I think he's good in the ring.
Yes, absolutely.
But he's got no personality.
They have not done enough to develop his character, is what I was going to say, which is another way of expressing what you have done. Yeah. The thing is, I think he needed to lose to Will Ospreay. I think it's actually hurt him a little bit that he's beaten Will Ospreay, because where does this story go, specifically with the betrayal of Will Ospreay? Where does the story go from here? Kyle Fletcher has beaten him, so he can now say, right, well, I'm done, aren't I? I've proven to you that I'm better than you, and I always have been, and I'm off. Yeah. So I feel like he needed to chase Will Ospreay a bit more, and that Will Ospreay beats him and beats him convincingly, so that Will Ospreay said, "See, kids, you still haven't got it. Go and have some 5-star banger matches, and come back when you've had as many 5-star matches as I have." And that could have been a story for Kyle Fletcher for months, as he just demolishes people on his way back to Will Ospreay at I don't know, Double or Nothing next year, or maybe even back at Full Gear next year. They could have really developed that for a long time. But as it stands now, the only option really is we rerun it, and Will Ospreay gets a little bit of revenge. It's lacking. Yeah. And that is the problem at the moment with a lot of the story in AEW. It's fine, but there isn't really any story that I'm like, yes, I must tune in to Dynamite every week to make sure I don't miss the next step in this story. Yeah. Whereas I'm like, oh yeah, they went with the worst of the two options every time at the moment, it seems. It's disappointing, and I need better booking from AEW. Let's hope 2025 brings better booking. Yeah. Next up to discuss, there's a slightly decent story going on with this, actually. I've been more happy with this. Bobby Lashley defeating Swerve Strickland handedly, just knocking him straight out with the hurt lock and putting him to sleep. Are you happy to see Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Syndicate in AEW? And if you are, did WWE mess up breaking up the stable and letting them all walk?
Yeah, they did. They messed up. Because I think this was a great stable of the Hurt Business in WWE, now the Hurt Syndicate. Bobby Lashley is a phenomenal athlete, as we've seen. Shelton Benjamin is a phenomenal athlete. Yeah. MVP is great as a hype man and just a mouthpiece. I really hope they do really well in AEW.
I do as well, yeah. And Bobby Lashley's gone on record saying that he thinks he's probably got about 2 years left before he hangs it up. It was quite interesting. He did an interview in which he laid out what his plans were with that whole, what were they called? The Pride with the Street Profits, that stable. And his story that he laid out was pretty compelling, actually. It's the idea that eventually the Street Profits get fed up of being underneath him and riding his coattails and turn on him. And then, eventually Bobby Lashley puts over either Montez Ford or what's the other guy
Angelo
called?
Dawkins.
Thank you. My brain just completely died then. Or Angelo Dawkins, and propel them to a strong singles run. In the past, the conversation was always, well, it's obviously going to be Montez Ford, but I don't think that's as clear cut anymore, really. I think Angelo Dawkins is doing a really good job of improving himself in the ring, and he's, night and day from his time in NXT to now. He's really, really improved. So I could see them both having really good singles runs when, people pull their thumbs out of their rear ends in terms of the Street Profits and others, shall we say, in WWE. Definite mistake breaking up the Hurt Business in the first place. That was a Vince decision. That was how long ago that happened. I felt like that team could have gone a very long way. Obviously, they had Cedric Alexander as well, who's still in WWE. He's the last survivor. Maybe he joins them one day. If you had to pick somebody either on the current AEW roster or is a free agent, i.e. not signed to WWE, to join the Hurt Syndicate as the fourth member, who would you pick?
See, I would have gone for Swerve, because I think that would have been cool. But obviously he's got his thing going on with him at the moment, so don't know whether later on down the line he kind of gives up and goes, go on then.
Yeah, I hope not, because I don't think Swerve needs to be in a stable, really. And he's already got his own hype man in Prince Nana. He doesn't need MVP. Assuming that they keep the team, down the same racial lines, I would quite like to see Powerhouse Hobbs join the team.
Yeah.
MVP had Omos in WWE as that big presence. And not that Bobby Lashley needs, an enforcer or a bodyguard, but, imagine having Bobby Lashley and Powerhouse Hobbs coming at you. It's like, no, you know what? It's all right. I think I'll take today off, actually.
No, it's all right. I think I'll just die.
I'll just defecate myself right here in the ring and then roll out in disgrace. Yeah. There would be no stopping the Hurt Syndicate if they added Powerhouse Hobbs. They clearly don't know what they're going to do with him, because they have they've taken him out of the Don Callis family now all of a sudden. So who knows? Yeah, but that's where I would go. Any other thoughts about Lashley, Swerve, all of that?
Just, I hope they don't mess it up.
Yeah, I hope it develops quite well. Yeah. Right. Feedback about my car before we continue. From Tamsanaki in the chat. I know you have given me a lift home once, but I am afraid I am utterly defecate at noticing things about cars. I imagine yours is as gangster as can be, though. So there you go. That is proof as proofs be. My car is gangster in a Wild West kind of way.
No, I'm more Wild West than you.
No, they were pretty clean shaven in the Wild West.
I mean, more the fact that I actually ride horses and wear a cowboy hat to work.
You do, yeah, that is true. You do wear
ride
chaps. Horses, and okay. All right, fine. You're more of a cowboy than me, but we were talking about my car, not me. So my car can still be more cowboy than you. That's fine. Finally, in the AEW Full Gear discussion, the main event. Should it have been the main event? These are the questions. Jon Moxley defeating Orange Cassidy segues us quite nicely into talking about the Death Riders and all of that stuff with Jon Moxley in general. We haven't discussed it on this show yet. How long will the Death Riders taking over AEW hostile takeover thing last? Where's it going? What's going to happen with it? I think the last time we talked about it, we were still on the rumours that it was Shane McMahon. behind the Death Riders. I don't think that is ever going to come to fruition, and I think we've gone in a completely different direction now from any original plan.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it?
I am kind of enjoying it, this hostile takeover. But I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing that I can't actually see where it's going. You know, sometimes it's a good thing that you can't see where it's going because it's actually a surprise. But sometimes it's like a bad thing because it's like, yeah, what are you guys going to do now?
And I think it is a bad thing in this instance. Not necessarily because you can't see where it's going, but you can't see who it's going with, who is going to stand up to this group. They don't really have strong enough baby faces to do it that aren't already wrapped up in some other story. You know, there are some obvious choices of who could eventually stand up to them. People like Will Ospreay, for example. You know, depending on which way they're flip-flopping, you could try and get Adam Cole to have a go. But there isn't an obvious, you know, hope and glory babyface, you know, a traditional babyface in the realm of Hulk Hogan, John Cena, The Rock, etc., who is going to be that shining hope for AEW.
Yeah.
Because I've got to be honest, I wasn't buying Orange Cassidy as that shining hope. I know that that's what they were trying to push, and I really like Orange Cassidy, and I feel like he has come a very long way from the guy that they had on the first few episodes, who just stood at ringside with his hands in his pockets and doing a lame thumb and didn't wrestle for months, maybe even a year after his, you know, TV debut. But he's not main event yet. He just isn't.
No.
He's not main event level yet, and he will be one day. I genuinely believe he will be one day, and I think Orange Cassidy will be AEW World Champion one day.
Yeah.
But I think we're at least 2 years away from that.
Oh, God, yeah.
So as the opening hope for AEW, I didn't buy it, and therefore this was a predictable nothing main event.
Yeah.
The only unpredictable thing that happened was that Jon Moxley didn't bleed. Orange Cassidy bled a lot, but Jon Moxley did not bleed. That was the only unpredictable thing, really. I expected him to gush like a geyser, like he always does.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's the Death Rider's way. Jon Moxley doesn't bleed, perhaps. Everyone bleeds except for Jon Moxley, just to keep people on their toes.
Hope so.
Yeah, he bleeds too much, man. It needed to stop. But as an end to a pay-per-view, it was a bit of a damp squib. And the whole thing with Darby Allin in the car afterwards, it wasn't very well executed. It took too long to go from the car to Darby Allin coming out of it. So it's like, well, obviously he wasn't driving it. So it was just a bit lacking. And to end the show, that shouldn't have happened. You know, maybe Swerve Strickland should still have been world champion and defended it against Bobby Lashley. And Bobby Lashley come in on his first, you know, pay-per-view match and shock the world and win it.
Yeah.
That would have been a fitting end to the show. That would have been pretty cool, but it just, Full Gear in general, if we were, you know, let's give it a score out of 5. We haven't done that in a while. What would you give Full Gear out of 5?
It was fine. So straight down the middle, 3.
Yeah, I'd say 3. I'd maybe edge towards 3.25, 3.5, given some of the things that were there, but it was just solidly okay pay-per-view. It wasn't. It definitely wasn't bad. You know, if I'd have spent money on it, then I would be happy. But I didn't spend money on it, so there you go. That's how pay-per-views work. You don't pay for them per view. In wrestling, anyway.
Payless per view.
Payless per view. There you go. Yeah, let's get to predictions then. We'll get to Full Gear shortly. We have some predictions to mop up from WWE Crown Jewel a few weeks ago. Not a very good event for me, if we're being honest.
No, it wasn't, was it?
I did very badly. Came into this event with these scores, which I've forgotten to update, so let's throw them up there. Came into the show with me on 67 and you on 66, so trailing slightly. Crown Jewel, I only got 2, which is frankly diabolical.
Disappointing.
Disappointing would be the least way of saying it, to be honest. It was ungood. That's the phrase. Ungood. A score of 2 is ungood. Yeah, you did 100% better with the score of 4. You really nailed that one. There were only 5 matches because the Kevin Owens Randy Orton match didn't actually happen.
Yeah.
Which would have been another opportunity for me to get an actual point, but didn't happen. So there's that. Full Gear, a lot better. Not to say that it was more predictable, but it was more predictable. We each ended on 10 points. Very nice. We didn't differ a whole amount, and as you know, is kind of tradition for us, where you went wrong on one, I went wrong on another, and it ended up as a tie again.
Yeah.
You were correct on Anna Jay defeating Deonna Purrazzo. I was correct on Jay White defeating Hangman Adam Page. And then I think we got everything else right except for the Ospreay Carl Fletcher match. So kudos to us there. It does mean that we have a lead change this late in the game. We've only got 2 events left after today. So it's TNA Turning Point on Friday, and then Survivor Series on Saturday. And the scores on the doors are Jez 79, Dan 80. Yikes. I mean, if I'm going to lose the belt, now's a really good time to do it, because then it means I won't have to pack it and take it to my new house when I move. So I tell you what, you can win it, and then I'll win it back at Royal Rumble in January, which will be about the perfect time to get it back again, and you can send it to my new address. That sounds beautiful. C'est magnifique. Plan, bet, it's a date, all of those phrases. Let's make it happen. Lovely. On to the next topic. As always, a topic very close to your heart. Championships.
Yeah.
Now, I know that they also announced the Women's Intercontinental Championship last night on Monday Night Raw, but we'll get to that down the line. Let's focus on the championship that was announced a few weeks ago, and a new champion will be crowned at WWE Saturday Night's main event in mid-December. It's the Women's Ballbag Belt.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah. I stopped short of getting the Randy Marsh giant balls meme out and putting it over this championship as well, because it's the same championship belt. I don't need to visualize this for people. You can just go back and watch, I don't know what it was, episode 43 or something, when the new US championship was unveiled, and it was quite rightly spotted by me that there are a giant pair of testicles on it.
Do you know what someone suggested something for this belt?
Was it taking the testicles off it?
Sort of. So to differentiate it from the men's, rather having the eagle, they should have the Statue of Liberty.
How would that work?
Don't know, just have it in the middle.
So a completely different design is what you're saying?
Yeah, well, sort of the same design, just with the Statue of Liberty rather than the eagle.
But the eagle is the entire thing. Like, it spans the entire belt. I mean, I like the idea of it being different and being another, United States icon. I like that. But it would have to be more than just the Statue of Liberty. Maybe a skyline?
Skyline?
But then it'd just be the New York Championship, possibly. I don't know. Could go... Do you remember the old United States Championship? There was basically just the flag.
Yeah,
you could have kind of same shape as this one, as the current design, but just then flag behind it, textured and layered, and then Statue of Liberty in the middle. Yeah, that would quite work. And you could have the torch sticking up off the top of the belt a little bit, and that's where the WWE logo goes.
Yeah,
probably snap off when people got a bit rough with the belt, but
yeah,
at least it wouldn't have testicles on it, so it would be an instant improvement. But nothing says equality like giving the women a pair of testicles on their belt, just like the men. That's true equality. That's the world we live in now.
Oh yeah.
Women can have testicles on their belts too.
Yeah, well, you can't discriminate nowadays.
No. Gone are the days of women carrying testicles in their bags. That doesn't happen so much anymore. So why not just put them right on the championship belt?
They have them. No, I'm not going to say that.
Who is your pick to win the whole thing? I know the tournament is underway and we're not even close to the final yet. But who is your pick to win the whole damn thing?
I can't even remember who's in it.
So far qualified, we have Chelsea Green. I think we've got another triple threat this week that's like Meechin and Piper Niven and someone. Jade Cargill's been eliminated through her injury. Bianca Belair was eliminated by walking off. But you know the women's roster on SmackDown. Give me a pick.
I think Naomi may be a good pick. Or Chelsea Green, because she's so over with the crowd at the moment.
Yeah, Chelsea Green is my pick, just purely because of how over she is. And she needs a championship because she would be absolutely insufferable with a championship. She's not going to beat Nia Jax, of course.
No.
But I feel like the United States Championship would be a great kind of pick for Chelsea Green. I've been thinking that Chelsea Green's going to walk away with the whole thing ever since they took Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair out of the tournament. I originally thought it was going to be Jade and Bianca in the final because they were on opposite sides of the bracket and they've been having this, are they in a bit of a rivalry type thing?
Yeah.
But alas, it's not to be because Jade is apparently legitimately injured. I did have a giggle at the when they put out the tweet after the attack on SmackDown. It was like Jade Cargill was attacked on SmackDown, and here are the injuries she sustained, and it was like broken collarbone, blah 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 blah. I'm like, that's like 8 things. Like, how the hell has she sustained 8 things in an attack when she's as hench as she is? Like. It's like broken clavicle, collar, eye bone broken, bruised ribs, and a partridge in a pear tree. It was just so much stuff, and I audibly laughed when I read it. I'm like, all right, calm down, guys. You could have just said she had a grade 2 concussion and won't be back for a long time. You went ham there. You didn't need to. Last question, and it'll come up again. How do you feel about the women's championships all being on the white leather?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a thing for WWE, isn't it?
It has been for a little while, yeah.
I think it doesn't suit the United States very well because there's quite a bit of silver on it.
Yeah.
So maybe they could have done a different color. But yeah,
I think it's a bit trite personally. I don't think there's any need for it to all be the same. Like people know the difference between the belts, or it's slightly smaller for a start, so you can tell the difference between the men's and the women's one. You don't really need to make the straps a different color, especially because I've been liking that they've been letting people customize the leather straps on the belts. LA Knight's like strap is beautiful with all the little LAs all over it. That looks really good. So maybe it won't be white for long. If Chelsea Green wins it, maybe she'll have a green one. Green leather would look good.
Yeah.
Or completely garish. Either way, it would work perfectly for Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If Piper Niven wins it, tartan strap.
Yeah.
Nice stereotype there for the Scots. Yeah, why the
Who
hell
else
not?
could we have?
I mean, if Tiffany Stratton wins it,
Just
obviously,
pink.
yeah, just bright pink. Yeah, so many possibilities. We'll follow it as we get closer to Saturday night's main event on, I want to say, December 14th, but I could be making up
something
that
like that.
Yeah. Something I do know the date of, Survivor Series War Games. It's this Saturday, he says confidently without really knowing whether it's Saturday or Sunday. I think it's Saturday.
I think it's Saturday.
Yeah,
It's
let's
consistent
go
for
with Saturday.
WWE.
It's this Saturday, live on Peacock and the WWE Network everywhere else. We've got a few matches, haven't we? Let's bring up the card as it stands.
Yeah.
Because obviously we have the 2 War Games matches. The men's side is now set after Paul Heyman's return, bringing CM Punk in tow with him. The women's side it's kind of set after Raw, but they haven't officially said that Bayley is joining that team, I don't think.
Oh, no, it's on here. It's on Wikipedia, anyway.
Yeah, according to Wikipedia, that is set, so there you go. Let's talk about that first then. So the women's War Games match, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, and Bayley versus the Judgment Day, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. I've got to be honest, I'm not feeling that babyface team.
No, I'm not feeling any of it, to be fair. I feel like this is thrown together just because it's War Games.
Just because they need to have a women's version of War Games to match the men's one on the card. Yeah, there's far too much history on this team that for it to make sense. Why on earth would Bayley be happy to just get back in partnership with Io Sky after everything that happened with Damage Control less than a year ago? They only culminated that. Was it this WrestleMania they culminated it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Like, that really hasn't been very long, and they're just going to throw them back in like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Weird. They addressed the Bayley and Bianca Belair history. But Io Sky was just like, yeah, Bayley, why not? We don't hate her. It just was weird. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Rhea Ripley hates everybody, apparently.
Yeah.
That came out of nowhere. She's like, I just want Liv Morgan. I'm like, okay, chill out. It's fine. There's no need. And yeah, Naomi just continues to be a bit wallpaper.
A bit there.
Yeah. So I'm not digging that. I like that, they've kind of established the 2 groups on the other side. The Judgment Day is obvious. And they've had this, triangle between Jax, Stratton, and Candice LeRae been happening for a little while. So that kind of makes sense. I can't wait for them to lose to the random mishmash of baby faces that shouldn't be teaming together. Yeah.
At least with the men's War Games, it makes sense.
It does, yeah. We'll get to that as our main event, if you will. Let's go through what else we've got on the card so far. Gunther versus Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, we've seen it before. I got to say, I'm not a big fan of the making Gunther look weak story that they've got going on. Unless this ends with Gunther just absolutely annihilating Damian Priest and Priest not even getting a look in to redeem that, then I'm not particularly interested. It's a bit strange. Like, why would you make your champion look weak just after he's won the championship? It's bizarre. Especially after he lost to Cody Rhodes as well. It's like, don't put your champion in a slump. It's a bad story. Triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship. Bron Breakker defending against Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser.
I would like to see Ludwig Kaiser as champion.
Me too. I don't see it happening here.
No, I don't see it happening. But can you imagine imagine this scenario, and I don't think it's going to happen, but just imagine this scenario where Gunther loses his championship to Damien, and then Ludwig actually wins the Intercontinental Championship, and it's kind of like,
I am the Imperium now.
I am better than you now.
Yeah. I think the most likely scenario at this point is that Ludwig Kaiser takes the pin from Sheamus, and Sheamus wins the last belt in his collection that he's never won before. I don't see any other scenario other than that, really. I think they want to make Bron Breakker a multi-time Intercontinental Champion before they push him up to the world title. He's won it twice already. He'll probably win it again when he beats Sheamus after Sheamus wins the belt without pinning him. So let's go with that. And this one I like, although it is pretty predictable. LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the Men's United States Championship.
Yeah, I'm kind of intrigued by this new Shinsuke.
Yeah, like the broken samurai kind of gimmick that he's pulled off.
Yeah,
he's kind of like a ghost or a spectre that just comes in and annihilates you when you get a bit too cocky and confident.
Yeah, annihilates you, then just walks off.
Yeah. Even though he's saying "come on," then just leaves. Yeah, I think it's going to be an absolute cracker of a match. I hope they don't mess around with it and have some kind of shenanigans that ruins the match. Yeah. Be that interference or, a DQ finish or a dusty finish or anything like that. Let's let these guys have a 5-star match. LA Knight will win and that's fine. But let's have a good clean fight with it. That's what I say.
Yes.
Yeah. But overall, I don't think it's a spectacular card for Survivor Series.
No.
Still, we haven't bothered to have a Survivor Series traditional match at any point. I feel like they could have one on the undercard somewhere. Screw Survivor Series, I guess. Just call it War Games, full stop. Get rid of the Survivor Series completely if that's how you feel about it. Yeah. So, yes, the main event, and it will be the main event. There's no question. The OG Bloodline, Roman Reigns, the Usos, Sami Zayn, and CM Punk, versus the new Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Bronson Reed. First question, do you like the 2 tag-alongs that they've shoehorned into this?
Bronson Reed, I don't really get why. CM Punk, I do get.
Yes.
Because he's doing a favour for Paul Heyman.
That makes sense, especially considering in the height of, Solo Sikoa bullying Paul Heyman. It was, Paul Heyman just going to CM Punk, take me with you. Please take me with you. And it was set up a long time ago, and that's good long-term storytelling. I like that. Yeah. Bronson Reed, I don't know if it is a bit of a racial thing. He
looks vaguely Samoan.
He looks vaguely Samoan because he's, has native Australian history in his family. And he's got tribal tattoos that look vaguely similar to, Samoan tattoos. It does seem like that is as close you're going to get to an explanation, tenuous as it is. I kind of hoped that they were just going to say, no, you know what, War Games is 4-on-4 for the men this year. Yeah. Or, how about you have to go and find another member of your family to join you if you're going to do it that way.
The family's big enough.
There's plenty out there in your bloodline. Both teams go and find a new Samoan to join them. And, Hikalea's on the roster. I think, I can't remember his name, but Jacob Fatu's brother is also, he's out there as well. Maybe it's not Jacob Fatu's brother. There's another one that's just signed, another Fatu that's just signed.
God.
So, they could have pulled him out there. It's a bit of a baptism by fire to have your debut match in War Games, but, go
Why
with
not?
It. Why not? Yeah. I think I would have preferred that. But this is what we've got. I like CM Punk on this team. I'm not sold on Sami Zayn just walking back into the bloodline like nothing has happened, though. Same with Jey Uso, actually. I feel like they kind of gave in and towed the line behind Roman Reigns a little too easy.
Yeah.
They probably should have started building this a long time ago, rather than, oh no, War Games is in 3 weeks. Let's quickly redeem Roman Reigns in the eyes of Jey Uso, and 3 seconds later, let's redeem him in Sami Zayn's eyes as well. For Sami Zayn to be, I'm behind you, Roman Reigns. Let's go into battle and die together. It's like, mate, he annihilated you months ago. Can we have a little bit of memory when we're doing these stories?
Memories.
It's normally me that does the terrible singing. You've taken over that mantle this week.
Yeah, I felt like it.
Yeah. Okay. You don't have to stick with it when we do put our predictions in this weekend, but gut feeling, who wins? OG Bloodline, New Bloodline?
OG Bloodline.
It's going to be the OGs, isn't it? It's pretty patently obvious. Yeah. I mean, I got it wrong at Crown Jewel. I went with the OG Bloodline for then, but I'm doubling down and sticking with it this time. It's definitely going to be the OG Bloodline.
Yes.
Yeah. And we will be back next week to talk about it all. Go through all of Survivor Series War Games. Hopefully it's going to be more entertaining than it looks in the 5 matches that are currently listed. Hopefully there'll be some surprises. Hopefully there'll be not quite as long a break in between the matches as there was at Crown Jewel. Some matches you have to wait 20 minutes between. That's long. We don't need that.
No.
Just crack on with it, please.
Yeah.
But either way, we'll be here to talk about it. Drink and Goat energy drink, which you can get for 10% off and with free shipping using the code JEZ10 at goatdrinks.co.uk. There is an example of it right there. Spun expertly.
Hells yeah.
Will I lose my championship next week?
Yes.
You're also going to have to tune in and find that out. No spoilers, Dan. Thank you very much. Don't need that. Until then, I've been Jez.
I've been Dan.
This has been the Main Event Podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.